Soto, co-author of the book Married in Real Estate, and we are here for our singles edition.
Woo!
But before we get into that, Married in Real Estate, get your free copy. It's available right now. Go to marriedinrealestate.com. But we are here today with Nick Krem, and tell us a little bit about what it's like to be single in real estate.
Well, that's a great question, and like I always say, like coming into these things, I'm like, let's just wing it, let's have fun, right? It's in real estate. This is off the top of my mind. It can be difficult at times, because especially I'm an agent, but I'm not actually buying, selling, but my day is still packed to the brim, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And then at the end of the day, I'm so tired, figuring out what am I going to do next. How do you find that free time to actually go out, meet the right person? And if I go out, sometimes it's going out to the bars and where do you find that right person? So in real estate, being single, and then all of a sudden we're surrounded by so many great couples, such as you guys, where it's like, okay, that's what you want. But at what point do you make the commitment that you're going to look for it? Or maybe do you follow your book's advice and kind of live your life and kind of it'll come to you in a way. So it's single in real estate. It can be a lot of fun and it can be a little nerve-wracking at times because you start to think when am I going to spend time for myself? Because I'm so worried about my business and all these things going on.
And I've seen you in action. Your schedule definitely is packed back to back. I don't know how you guys do it. And honestly, I look at you and I admire you a lot because you're so young and you are really at the top of your game right now. And I think this is not even the top of it.
Oh, we're not even close. Yeah.
There's so much more. And I just want to know a little bit, take us through a little bit of what your day is like your schedule, what you're doing. And I feel like you're in a bunch of different little things here and there. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
So me specifically right now too, I'm not, my video today was about being a morning person. I was never a morning person because I never went to sleep on time. So I would always stay up late, watch episodes, do other things, talk to people. I don't have time for that anymore. I realized I had to cut out that nonsense time so I could wake up early. If I don't wake up early, I don't work out.
You're pretty disciplined at that. And that is something, honestly, that's on my resolution for next year.
It's on your commitment.
It's on my commitment because, I really do need to get to bed earlier. But I'm a night owl. And I admire your commitment so far. Because literally, I saw you the other night. We were out, we're having a great time. And you're like, okay, it's time for me to go.
I gotta go. I'm like,
And Nick was out.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Havana was fun, but I gotta go back to Orlando. No. So my day, it's really regimented. And I used to think that a calendar, all these things would be like shackles, but it's really freedom. Because I know for these next 30 minutes, I'm dedicated to doing this. I know what my day is going to look like. I know I don't have to think about who do I have to call, what do I have to do next. But that being said, too, and then in between meetings, other people are calling that you have to get to. There's messages that you have to get to. There's text messages you have to get to. And I'll say this, single in real estate, for all you single people out there, and in real estate, sometimes the last thing you want to do is talk on the phone at the end of the day. Sometimes the last thing you want to do is text for hours at the end of the day, right? Because you're doing that all day, every day. And
there's something different when you meet that right person, though. All of a sudden, there's an extra energy for that.
You might be right there. But still, even today's standards are a little bit different where some people might expect you to respond every moment of every day. And it's tough for some people to realize, look, I got appointments, I have meetings. Again, if you're in real estate, you know this. If you're on a showing and somebody that you're talking to is blowing you up, why aren't you responding? You're like, because I'm freaking working, right? So it can be difficult at times, but I'm sure the right person will understand that, which is, I'll say this, what I got from Married in Real Estate, that's why I think this book is for so many more people than just married people in real estate. I started seeing okay, this is where I was going wrong in looking for a partner and looking for things. Your book walked me through how to find the right partner, what you should look for, don't ignore the red flags, go through this process, and I can start identifying who I'm looking for instead of just saying, trying to figure it out.
Because you came last January and you talked with our event, and you talked them through finding that ideal client. But I think just as you looked for the ideal client,
right?
What does that ideal girl look like for you?
See, I never even gave that much thought and effort into it, and then I really started diving down to what are my core values? I know mine, but what do I need theirs to be? You don't I never thought about that. I never thought about what do their goals have to be in alignment to mine, and just really gave that thought where it's And I think you guys talked about this where you might have that infatuation period, but it might not ever wear off, but at the same time, at what point do your goals, alignments, core values don't align where it's like, it's not enough. You know, you have to have that alignment. And even like, it just made me think about my relationships with other people too, where I started making the list, just like the book says. I'm making my list of what are my core values, what are my must-haves, what are my must-nots, what values do my friends have, what values don't they have. I started looking at this, I'm like, man, when I thought about some of these friends and people, I'm like, you are in the wrong column in everything. So it just made sense of why I would have bad nights sometimes. I'm like, I was with the wrong group who didn't have the right values.
You know, and it's funny because sometimes you'll find that person that is almost perfect, but there's things that are not on your checklist that
fundamental.
But sometimes you have to know when to throw that out the door too.
You're right. It's not being completely
when the pros
picky.
outweigh the cons.
Right, and that's where I think it's sometimes if there's like a fundamental core value that you do have like your must-haves. There's other ones too where they could just be perks where you could kind of say like, all right, that you can never find like a perfectly molded person for you, right? Yeah. But the fundamental core values, I think that was a big thing for me where I'm like, that was a mistake I made in the past where it's like, we can just make it work. One of us will change our minds one day. And sometimes when they're like your core values, you know, I got my core values that I believe in wholeheartedly that just are with me.
I think the right person is going to align and share those core values with you.
Exactly.
And I honestly think that when you find the right person, and this right person might have been a wrong person with someone else.
Yeah.
But the combination of being with you, that person wants to be supportive of you in that. And in turn, you are the same for the other person. And I think that's what really makes a successful relationship. Yeah. And of course, it always helps when you're both in real estate.
Yeah. It does too, to a certain extent. I'm going to take this off. This is going on the wayside. See, that's what I got to do. If I'm on a date, I got to take that off. But anyways, it really does too, to an extent. So it's tough because I'm in the middle of like, do I date within the industry or do I not like commingle? So there's pros and cons to both, you know? So I think, again, it's when that right person comes, you're going to just be able to say like, yeah, that's a rule that's out the door, right? So so at the same time, it does help because they understand what you're going through.
If you read the book,
I did, yeah.
And so Josh and I, the way we met,
right?
Technically, I shouldn't have been dating a patient, and I don't date patients.
Yeah.
I was working in dentistry at the time, and it was my office manager who says, Rebecca, you gotta bring this next patient in, and I'm new on the job. I was like, what the heck am I gonna do here?
Right.
I don't want to lose my job if the doctor finds out. But I think that after having just gotten to know, I said, you know what, I'll just get to know him. And taking our time to get to know each other, and really getting to see if those core values really do align. Because people can talk a good game, but do they walk the walk? And so that takes time to find out, you know?
And I think that's, like we said, I have my core values. What I just said was like a rule that'll get thrown out the door, right? Like that's not a core value that I can't date within the industry, right? But that's like a kind of an unwritten rule that I've created. Sorry, ladies.
Because the next thing was you can go to a good networking event and find someone.
Right. That is true. No, it could be tough. But yeah, no, it would be nice, like at the same time, like someone that understands what the day is like, that your schedule's busy, that you're going through these things, you know, so it could be tough. Yeah. But here, if you guys are single in real estate, give me a thumbs up. Might give me some prospects, might just give us some love on the video. There you go.
Love it. Well, anything else? Any closing words before we end?
Yes. Like, for me, this book was just so much more. Like, when you read, sometimes you might just say, oh, I'm not married. This book is so much more. It's the relationship. It's being in this business. It's just, if you're married, get this book. If you're out of the industry, get this book. If you're single, get this. Like, this forms just how to form that relationship, how to form those bonds. I use this for my family members, my friends, everything. So like, it impacts my life so much. Even hearing your guys' stories on the back end too. Like, it's amazing to hear your stories, see it all come together. I do those exercises. Like, I look back at those exercises because I'm like, I have to like check my notes and say like, okay, does this person align, right? Like, even when it comes to my like relationships with like people, you know, like, does this person in alignment? Is it kind of do business with them?
The exercises, the life lessons at the end, help you kind of to put things in perspective. I mean,
and then the course on top of that too. Yeah,
there's so much to learn from that.
There's so much to learn, and then the course on top of that too. You know, watching guys' videos, you guys have fun during it too. So it's cool to see you guys having fun. Like, watching the videos, it really hits home. Like, hearing you guys speak about it, seeing you guys speak about it, it just blew my mind. And I was able to sit back and just watch and listen and be like, I need to make some changes. Honestly, like, this book was like, I need to make some changes with how I establish and keep my relationships and who I do business with and who's in my life. And it really just makes you think, which is always good. You know, I like people who think, so give me a thumbs up if you think. Yeah, I know.
Big thinkers.
Yeah, big thinkers. Single ladies in real estate, give me a hands up.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Well, I want to thank you personally for helping us to put the book together. I mean, at the end of the day, Josh and I wrote the book, but Krem Publishing, you together with Michael, helped us to put that together and to bring it to life. Yeah. And it's funny because as we were writing the book and you guys are, you know, kind of going through all these chapters with us, and I remember Michael saying, man, I feel like I really know you guys. We just met. We hadn't even met.
You never met Michael yet.
We hadn't even met.
Yeah, and he's coming in and getting so, you know, Michael, he just goes right in with the questions. He's like, all right, Rebecca, tell me about your, I'm like, wow, we're going deep already. I love it.
Honestly,
yeah. It was so much fun.
An amazing experience that I really truly cherish. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The fact that the book is absolutely free right now is ridiculous. I can't believe you guys are doing this, but it is free to get this book. And I'm telling you, it will make you think about all the relationships in your life, married, loved ones, everything. Like, you need this book. 2021, you need to get this book going into it. If you have a loved one that you truly love, you want to get them this book because it'll help change their life. It'll make them think about relationships differently too.
You heard it right there. Thank you so much. Go to marriedinrealestate.com. Thank you for watching. And Friday, we'll be with Carlos German and Rosemary German. So we'll see you then.